Hi, this is Sanj Kaura. I'm a member of the RZIM team. I wanted to just recap this summer's Refresh Conference, which is for students getting ready for college, and just another one of our youth initiatives. And I was really excited to see what would happen during that week. I asked God to show me why I'm a part of this meeting and why I'm going to be speaking. And when I spoke on my own personal story, where I gave my testimony and really focused on the security of God. And I remember seeing two young brothers that were registering at the meeting and seeing that they weren't that comfortable. And after I spoke, many times people wait for us afterwards and have questions, and so there was a bit of a crowd after I shared and was able to answer those questions, and then from there prayed with them. And then as I was leaving, I noticed one of the brothers that I was talking about earlier waiting for me, and he said these words. He pointed at me and he said, "You got me." And I said, "Pardon me?" He said, "Sanj, you got me during your talk, and would I be able to speak with you privately?" So I said, absolutely. So we were able to walk away from the conference, and we went up to the prayer room, which was set up, and we were able to speak. And I asked him, how did he end up here? And he said, well, my dad sent me here. He says, my father began to listen to Ravi on the radio, and he got right with God, and now he's doing really well. And then he sent my brother and I here. And he said, and my brother and I have the same father, but two different moms, and we're only 3 months apart. So he was able to share for about an hour or so his background and the brokenness that was going on in his life. But what really impacted him was that he lived for material things and wanted to be successful. And in my story, he saw that that is not the answer, is what he felt, and wanted to know more about my relationship with Christ. Well, as we moved the conversation, this young man who was only 19 years old out of Houston bowed his head and surrendered his life to Christ, and he wept very hard. But the first response was that he wanted to call his dad. And when he called his dad, I'll never forget what he said. He said, "Pops, I have some good news for you, and that is I surrendered my life to Jesus Christ." And his father's response, which I could hear on the speakerphone, was, "Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy." Well, after that, we had a couple more meetings, and from there he said, "Sanj, would you be able to talk to my brother?" And so I began to talk to him. We had a couple of private meetings, and then I was able to introduce him to Ravi. So it was Ravi and I and the two brothers on the day before the conference ended, and his brother also gave his life to the Lord. So it was a wonderful week. It was one that I wasn't expecting that, but to see two brothers reconcile, and then reconcile with God, and reconcile with their earthly father also. So I just want to thank you all for letting us do what we're called to do, with your support and your prayers and your trust in RZIM.